So a very good evening to everybody. Being the almost the last speaker in post-lunch session, I'm not going to bore you with a lot of legal stuff. My presentation is basically, we'll just touch upon what India has seen in the last year or so and where do we see the IP scenario moving and what we can expect. And I personally believe that things are going to happen only for the best, and India is on a road to growth. And we shall all be witnessing with our new government and with all the policies in place. I don't think I'm going to take more than 10 minutes, so you guys can feel happy and start moving for your Friday or weekend plans. Yeah. So just to introduce, I'm Lucy Rana. I'm an IP attorney. I work with the firm SS Rana. I'm based in Delhi. And I would like to thank the organizers to give this, to have given this opportunity to me to speak over here. So what did India witness? 2014 was a very special year because we had one of the most spectacular General Assembly elections. The elections changed the campaign, the election campaign changed the way India looked at general elections. We saw the current Prime Minister his party undertake historic rallies covering the entire length of the country, and in a short span of about 8 months. The extensive use of social media, information technology during the election campaigns was unprecedented, which all shows that the government also has become quite innovative. And it's not just the the industry or the IP stakeholders who are talking about innovation and invention. They were quite innovative. We also saw that from the election campaign, a number of trademarks which came out of the interesting phrases or jargons which were being used during the election campaign. For some of the foreign delegates here who are not aware, NAMO is the phrase which was referred for our Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and he's referred as NAMO. Extensively, this phrase was used during the election campaign, so much so that we saw a spurt in trademark filings for the trademark NAMO in 2013-14. If you would look at the slide, you'll also see that there was a similar spurt for marks being filed for the mark NAMO in the year 2001. That is the time when Mr. Modi became the Chief Minister for the state of Gujarat. So we noticed that whatever happens, at the government level, the industry is quite receptive, and this just shows that social media and campaigns do find its way into the trademark register. Although this, it's quite it's sad to know that none of these applications are actually filed by either Mr. Modi or his party. So the government should have looked at that angle as well. And again, one of the other phrases which were extensively used during the campaign was Chai Pe Charcha. I would like to just point out, if people who are not aware, Mr. Modi during his initial formative years worked at his family-owned tea stall, and the media as well as the opposition, tried to use that against him in certain campaigns. But I think BJP or the government they took it in a very positive. And they capitalized on the slogan Chai Pe Charcha, which translates to discussion over tea, considering his background. And again, enterprising entrepreneurs capitalized on the popularity of this phrase, and we saw trademark applications being filed for Chai Pe Charcha right after the elections or during the time of the election campaign. These are two applications which we were able to figure out from the trademark registry, and it was just very interesting to analyze what social media campaigns and whatever happens in the industry, in the country, the industry or the entrepreneurs are there looking at and capitalizing on stuff. Some of the other applications, and these are all for class 30 for tea and related goods. What is more interesting would be to monitor these applications to see how many of them actually find their way to registration. And talking about innovation and the government, as many of you are already aware, in 2009 our president declared 2010 to 2020 as the decade of innovation. And the government wants to create an innovation ecosystem in the country which fosters innovation and is able to leverage India on the global innovation map. There is a lot of programs which the government has undertaken. There's a lot of support in terms of technopreneur promotion programs, incentives given to small, medium enterprises, as well as to grassroots innovators. And going forward, the government has also taken out the, established an IP think tank to draft the first national IPR policy of the country. The first draft was released in December, and I would like to apprise everyone that the government has invited comments from the stakeholders, from industry, from people in the practice, as well as any interested party to send over, submit their comments or suggestions till January 30th, and the think tank will take up those suggestions. They will take up the recommendations, and they would be even, you can also request for physically meeting with the IPR think tank, which is going to have its meeting on 5th of February. So what I'm trying to portray over here is that the government is doing a lot to ensure that India has a very transparent IPR policy, and a lot of issues which the foreign attorneys or foreign proprietors have faced in India over the previous so many years that will be addressed. These are all something which we have seen develop in the last year, 2 years, and what we are looking at is that things are going to go more smoothly, and maybe a lot of positive outcome will come from here. All of these efforts which the government is saying, I think IP innovation, the Make in India campaign launched by the government across the globe, entice, for calling all the manufacturers to come and actually manufacture and invest in India cannot happen if the IPR policy is also not looked at and tweaked around to ensure that it is investor friendly and IP protection friendly country. Yes, and the government is very proactive. The Make in India campaign, which aims to facilitate investment, foster innovation, and protect intellectual property, and the government took the first step and filed its own trademark, the Make in India trademark with the lion logo, and the application was filed by the Ministry of Commerce and Industry in October 2014, and it's a user-based application. The use of this logo is prohibited for commercial purposes without the explicit permission of the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, but the government itself has taken the first step in protecting IP. So we see that the government is moving in the right direction, and things can only get better from here. Having said about all what the government is doing, I would just like to throw a little bit light about what the developments have happened in terms of changes and amendments in IPR rules. We saw India join Madrid Protocol in 2013, and my colleague Mr. Banerjee has already delved very much in detail on Madrid Protocol, so I'm not going to speak much about that. India has both the Office of Origin and the Designated Office, so that's a very advantageous position that India is now in for all the domestic industries over here, getting access to filing worldwide from just one window application. We've already seen almost about 13,000 applications filed at Madrid, designating with India as one of the designated countries. The filings from India are still at a very low stage. We've seen about 156 applications go out from India through the Madrid Protocol, but the numbers are only going to increase. If I look at the IPR filing trends in India, and this is as per the data available from the annual report of the Intellectual Property Office, we see that India is still more of a trademark focused country. Reason being that I guess the more focus and thrust from the local industry for in research and development and innovation needs to be addressed, and I think all the government policies are moving in that direction to ensure that innovation is at the heart of Indian entrepreneurs and industry. Surprisingly, the trademark filings that we look at, about 200,000 trademark applications filed annually in India. almost 75 to 80% of the trademarks being filed are from domestic applicants. So there's a lot of awareness about protecting of trademark, and there are a lot of entrepreneurs who are coming forward and have understood the value of intangible assets, and they are actually proactively filing a lot of their trademark applications. Whereas for patents, it's just the other way. About 80%, 80 to 85% of the the annual filings are from foreign applicants, and then just about 10-15% is from domestic applicants. And even amongst those, there is a lot of government institutes and research institutes who are filing more of patent applications. So that's something which I guess there's a lot of focus which government as well as policymakers and forums such as these, which bring about a lot of awareness about to protect, patent and protect rather than publish and perish. So a lot of we find that in India, universities are far behind in protecting their patents, because the general tendency is to publish a paper rather than to go and protect and file and protect their inventions. So a lot of awareness is being spread to ensure that innovation is adequately protected. For designs, again, we see that almost 75% of the design filings in India come from domestic applicants, which is quite surprising as opposed to international figures. If we look at international figures, we'll see that the top filers are from countries such as Japan, and from the European Union, also from countries such as Germany and Switzerland or Belgium. But in India, it's almost 80% is domestic filing. So that's quite promising to know that there are designers and there are companies and entrepreneurs looking at protecting their IP from the design point of view. As I've already explained, we'll be looking at more than 200,000 plus trademark applications filed in India, and this number is constantly growing. The reason why I've given this slide is that even after the Madrid Protocol, even after India joined the Madrid Protocol, we've really not seen a drop in the number of trademark applications being filed, which is quite promising for IP lawyers such as us, because world over, we have seen that whenever a country joins Madrid Protocol, there has been a drop in the trademark filings, and thankfully for us, because of the high penetration of the Indian entrepreneurs who have been who constitute this entire number of 200,000 applications, and all of them are not immediately so that's worked in our favor, that we have a strong at least a strong trademark awareness in the country. Sorry. A few more trends to understand what kind of issues are there at the Indian Trademark Office. So there's a lot of backlog which the Indian Trademark Office has, and we see a lot of pendency in the number of trademarks being examined. But we've seen a spurt in the number of trademarks being examined in 2012-13, and that is also because India was about to join the Madrid Protocol, and the IP office had to gear up to ensure that they took care of the pendency. And I'm very glad to know that they have just 2 days ago also announced appointment for 100 more examiners on a contractual basis, because we just have about 70 odd trademark examiners in India examining the 200,000 applications being filed annually, which is a tremendous workload. It is just a matter of lack of human resources, and stakeholders such as us regularly meet up the Controller General as well as the people at the IP office and bring this issue. So they have given us assurance that the 100 odd trademark examiners, the vacancy notice was just put up on the website, plus 1,000 more posts have been approved by the government. So we'll see that the Trademark Office will become more efficient, filings will not be so delayed, and we'll get good qualitative examinations also coming out of the Indian IP Office. Similarly, for publications, once all of these issues are addressed, we'll see things moving much faster and more marks getting registered in time. The recent drops is because of taking care of all the pendency in the examination and in the publication stage. The IP office does from time to time take up drives, and if stakeholders are here who have some pending applications and stuck in opposition proceedings, there is a current opposition drive which is going on at the IP office. Wherever parties have either settled the matter or applications have been withdrawn, the opposition drive is being conducted, and they are going to dispose of all such applications in the month of February. The notice is up on the website. You can always contact your representative, your lawyer handling, or you could get in touch with the IP office. So I believe that the Indian IP scenario is all set to change, and the issues which a lot of foreign associates faced a couple of years ago of times for duration such as 10 to 12 years, for getting a mark registered in India, all that is all history, and I think we are probably as good as any other IP office now. Some of the other recent developments is that we file all applications are now filed online, barring a few requests. Everything for a trademark is filed online. Official action replies to official actions, all documents, evidences are just uploaded on the comprehensive e-filing platform. One more interesting offering from the IP office is that there is a tool called the Dynamic Trademark Utility Tool. This basically makes you, we can just go and check on their system as to what kind of applications or what is the current quantum of work which the IP office is handling. For patents, it's even more interesting because we can find out at any given point in time which field of science the applications are being examined, and at the offices, and then and from which period onwards, so that we can also take up our cases and ensure that our applications are examined, and we are able to make up for the loss of time. So all these utilities just make it more transparent for stakeholders such as us. It feels we work on a real-time basis with the IP office, and we can approach them, and we can approach them to take up our cases, because we know what exactly the work that they are handling at their current office. So it's good to know that they have adopted all of this. There's a lot of use of information technology. There's reduction in the turnaround time. Filing started. Yeah, I'll just take 5 minutes. The number of corrigendas required, the number of for wrongful publication or errors in the registration certificates have drastically dropped down, which not only saves a lot of time, but it saves a lot of cost to the applicant. So I would just like to point that if any of you are not using online filing, please start it immediately, because physical filing not only makes your application delayed, because the registry does not take up applications till the time they are digitized and they come through the system, but it also it helps you in taking care of all the typographical errors which can occur, and which can then have effect at the time of publication and then the time of registration and so on and so forth. This is how the online filing portal of the IP office looks like. And this is the dynamic trademark utility that I was talking about. So at any given point of time, you can see for a particular status, you can see for a particular time period. It's very helpful to understand where exactly what is happening, and then approach the office accordingly. If for those who are not aware, the Indian trademark, the application status is available online. You can, at any given point of time, you can check the status of your trademark application. And I think Indian Trademark Office is probably the world's only trademark office which provides so much of information in the application status page, right from the trademark filing forms to the examination reports, the office action replies, and even general correspondence which the attorney has with the IP office. All documents are available. We extensively use this in litigation proceedings as well to dig out information about our defendants and what all they are claiming in their office action replies as well. So for people who have who were not aware, probably this is something that you should go and look up. So in the last year, there were several amendments. We saw the amendments in the trademark rules for the official filing fee, which was marginally increased. Both the filing fee and the expedited examination fee was increased in the month of August 2014. In the patent, also we saw amendment in the patent rules. The official filing fee was increased. However, there was a new entity called the small entity, which was introduced. Now, basically, till last year, there were only two entities, individuals and a company, a legal entity. With the introduction of the small entity, this has given leverage to small and medium enterprises to come forward and protect their inventions, because there is a substantial fee reduction, and this has been done primarily to promote filings from this sector. There's also a 10% reduction in fees if the patent applications are filed online. So that's a further benefit. So for those of you who are still doing physical filing, or you should look into this aspect as well. We saw amendments in the design rules as well, and this was very recently in December 2014. For filing a design application, there was a standard fee. There was just one category of applicant, but in December 2014, two new categories have been added, which is small entity and a legal entity other than small entity. But again, we see that the filing fee for small entity is 50% of that of a normal entity or a large entity, which is again to ensure that small and medium enterprises get a little bit more benefit to come forward and protect their IP. In domains, India was able to give a new offering in the internationalized domain names, the IDNs. We saw the launch of .bharat in the Devanagari script, which is the Hindi script, and the .company .bharat. So we already have the National Internet Exchange of India already has the .co-in and .in available for registration as a domain extension. So you can have your sony.co.in or a sony.co, and now you can also have the same domain name written in Hindi. This is very it's beneficial if you can get your domain registered in the Devanagari script, because 1.27 billion population of India, everybody is not literate in English. And even the government's campaign of Digital India is basically focused to ensure that almost 90% of this population should have access to internet, and through the access to internet, they shall have access to information. And most of the government projects and most of their websites are now being converted to the Hindi script, which is the Devanagari script. And we see that even for several big organizations, I think this should be something that they should immediately go and file and protect. They may not use it immediately, but for a defensive purpose also, to block the domain. The sunrise period was provided to trademark registration owners who were given first preference to register these domains. But in November, these domains are now open to the public, and anybody who can get a domain registered. It's important that companies and proprietors take a benefit of this, since it is representative of India. And we will also be seeing more of the IDNs being launched by the government. They have identified 8 languages in which the IDNs will be available. I am told from the National Internet Exchange that they are soon going to launch in Gujarati and in Bangla. They've already these 2 domains are there in the soft launch, and they are going to be released before the end of this financial year. So that is something that trademark owners can make a note of and take benefit of registration during the sunrise period. So that was it. Thank you so much for bearing with me, and I hope you all have a great weekend ahead.